This is probably one of the most personal things I've ever done and shared, especially on YouTube, so I wanted to preface this video by saying a few things first. First, I want people to understand that this was not my first choice. Going on to the show was not my first choice. I didn't have the money to help my mom. My mom didn't have money to get help. I was fully aware the show would profit off us, but they were the only option left at this point. I was worried my mom would pass away in the house if she did not receive help. Second, I did not involve anyone in my family other than those shown. I didn't even want people knowing what was going on. I only told those extremely close to me. So when the episode finally aired months later, I was getting calls from relatives and friends who were surprised and shocked. Almost no one knew about the extent of the conditions that my mom and I lived in for over a decade. Third, we did not receive any money from the show. I did not expect it anyways. It was up to my brother and I to buy her a new fridge. After they threw out the old one, it was unsalvageable anyways. I did ask for a copy of the episode on DVD for my mom so she could watch it if she ever felt the need, since she didn't have cable or internet, especially at the time. But it was I was never sent anything, but I'm assuming they just didn't check it after, everything aired. Why did the show take my case? Why did Hoarders take my case? I emailed them pictures of where my mom and I had lived and my story, along and with a friend's help helped me write it out after I had already moved out. I never expected them to actually get back to me, but I figured I had nothing to lose at this point, and my mom desperately needed the help. They were intrigued by the story and horrific conditions of such a small apartment, and this was actually not the first place my mom hoarded, or even the worst. It wasn't even the second worst actually place that she hoarded. There are two other places that we've lived that were far, far, far worse than what is going to be shown on the episode actually. Fifth, I recorded the show's process on my old iPhone. I actually have my own pictures and video of it, but I was asked not to post that to social media for till after the episode aired, and then I just didn't post it until I felt more comfortable, which is, I guess, now. And lastly, there was a lot that happened during the filming of Hoarders that is not shown. Some of it I will share with you. They were respectful when I asked for specific things not to be shown on TV. And I was also very sick during the filming because I do have chronic illness. I also was extremely stressed out during the filming, as I'm sure you can imagine. So please keep that in mind as you watch this. I also want to say, it's funny, that they mislabeled the original episode on Hulu, so it was harder for other people to find. Hoarders is a reality show that depicts the struggles and treatment of individuals suffering from hoarding disorder. My mom was on the show Hoarders Season 7, Episode 2. She was chosen because she primarily hoards trash and has hoarded many places over the years. Also, my mom and I used to watch this show, and my brother too, and she never would have imagined she would be on it. And also, she never thought her place was as bad. She kept watching, but well, at least it's not that bad. Thinking that makes it okay, and it doesn't. And there's always an extent of hoarding, and also the current place they're showing is nowhere near the extent of some of the places that we have lived in that they needed shovels to after. They kicked us out of the apartment. They'd have to use shovels to get everything out, and it was horrible. Again, as I've mentioned, there are going to be some areas that are not shown on the show and some behind the scenes that I have taken from my old iPhone. You'll see a lot of trash and cups because that is what she hoarded. Record my genuine reaction while watching this episode. You can see from facial expression that I'm not. It was hard to watch.
My mom is definitely a hoarder. Kind of looks like a dumpster in there.
She was extremely hesitant to go on the show, but it was basically this or get evicted. So it's amazing what getting out of that situation, because here I've been out of the situation for a little bit, but it's amazing what a good amount of time away from something like that will do for your health. Even if I'm not a healthy person, I still have problems to this day, but better than I was living there. There is going to be things like fly feces, dead bugs, blurred out animal feces from her old dog. That feces is grounded to the carpet and is years old. That was not a recent thing when they came out. I actually, during the filming, which took, by the way, I think 5 days full for the filming because they did interviews and stuff, I actually was very sick during that time, like throwing up and stuff. So that was awesome. Even when I went to go, like months prior, when I went to go in there to take pictures, I had to pull over after taking pictures because I was like vomiting from the stress. But like during the show, I was sick, unfortunately, and it happens. Stress and problems will do that. It was so bad that when stuff would break also in her apartment, that she wouldn't seek out the landlord to get it fixed.
I haven't taken a bath in a long, long time.
This is harder than I thought. Jeez.
Mom's kitchen looks like something you would see out of like an American horror film, but worse.
And then we also had found a pet box in the kitchen, which looked like a hamster box or something. I don't know when she got one of those. She swears she didn't, but I don't know. A lot of just rotten milk sitting out that presumably was in the fridge, but then taken out to rot further.
My bedroom, I don't even use anymore because I got a bunch of stuff on the floor. So I go into my daughter's bedroom and just kind of sleep on the floor by the heater.
It's funny that she refers to it as my bedroom when yes, that was my former bedroom. She moved in because hers was like, her room was unlivable. Go figure. Yes, there's trash. She hoards trash. But I kind of just one day grabbed all my stuff and put it in my car and just drove away because I could not be in that situation anymore. After more than a decade with her, it was a hard decision, but after you see some of the stuff that they do show, you'll see it. I stayed with her through all this for so long, and it impacted me physically and mentally, and it's nothing. You shouldn't have to parent your mom. It tried to hide it from friends, family. I would never have people over. I didn't even want people coming to the door. Like, it's just one of those things you get really embarrassed about, and you just learn that it's like not normal. After a while you just see it as normal, kind of, even though it's not. God, the amount of times I had CPS call to me was insane. Found out like that's not normal.
I do worry about my mom when she does sleep so close to the heater, or just having the amount of papers and napkins and cups that she has. Something's gonna catch on fire.
You'll see my mom sleeping in bed. I just don't understand how, like, she can't be okay sleeping like that, right? No hoarder can be.
My mom began hoarding when I was probably 7 or 8 years old.
Because trash is easy when you're poor. You're gonna notice that I have trimmed out some of the episode. I'm obviously not gonna show the whole thing, but just some of it's just, I don't know, if you want to watch the whole thing, you can go watch it on Amazon or wherever, but yeah, just some of it's just like, oh, I'm sitting here watching, it's like, this is hard. This is hard. Also, a lot when we would clean up the house, she would get upset and angry.
I was mad because I wanted to be able to clean up and I couldn't do it.
She didn't want us cleaning, even though she couldn't do it. It's hoarding, I believe, is her way of controlling her life.
It was horrible. I wanted to leave.
I felt proud of him for moving out and not having to live in trash, but I also felt abandoned because, he's my brother. He's the only thing I have to actually kind of like watch my... I can't go with him because my mom's gonna do something horrible to herself, so I stayed.
This is so hard. I did. I was proud of my brother, but I kind of resented him too for the longest time because I did feel abandoned. I was there stuck. I felt like alone in a situation that was like impossible and like no one would understand. And it's hard. And when you're that age, and it's like, I didn't want my mom to sit there and die alone or have her die in that place. It's like someone has to keep an eye on her and manage it. And believe it or not, I would have cleaning sprees or to clean that house, but I can tell you, she would bring home trash. It would just be just an everyday occurrence and never throw anything out. Nothing would get thrown out. When you're living in that kind of, you don't want your mom to, you want to do something, you want to help. And the only thing I could think of was I can stay there with her. I can be there with her despite being mad at her. And yeah, the consequences were there for me. And I did end up having pretty significant health issues. I was sick all the time. I was in and out of the ER multiple times a month. None of those were at least long-term stays in the hospital. Most of them were, go in and get treated for pneumonia or strep and then get sent home within the same night. It's just I was repeatedly coming down with these infections and these predominantly like pneumonia, and my pneumonia, despite a lot of treatments like inhalers and multiple rounds of different antibiotics, it had a hell of a time going away. They were having trouble getting it under control. I was always sick, and it wasn't until after I had moved out and after a few months of moving out where my health did start to improve slowly to an extent. I've never been fully healthy, but whether that just be genetics or the impact of living in trash and black mold. I don't know if this particular episode with the apartment had black mold, but our previous apartment did have black mold, and that's one we spent many years in, along with infestation of insects and stuff. So I'm not sure what my health problems are caused by. It's a good chance probably from living in extremely compromising conditions, but there are times where, I do blame her for some of my health problems, particularly one of the incidences where I was found passed out on the floor, and, she didn't get help right away. And, hey, you look pretty sick.
I'm in danger.
Well, I'm off to work. I had stroke symptoms. A hospital incident actually took me several months to relearn how to walk. But again, I don't know if that was related. At least I've come a long way since then with health and mental health problems and lots of therapy. I'm going to always advocate for therapy.
There's times that I wish that I would just go to sleep and not wake up, that I wish I could die.
Not a day goes by that I don't think, what if I don't call my mom today? What if something happens?
I didn't talk with the psychologist really much at all. That was mostly she was there for my mom. So, but she seemed nice.
Need of some serious help.
It makes me wonder, like, again, some of this is, I'm going to talk about is staged, but like, not a lot of it. It's just if you do a reaction, they didn't catch it, they want you to redo it, which is a little annoying, but you know what? I get it. It's for TV and they're cleaning up your house. I always wonder about the people who have lived, like the children of hoarders, and like how the people who were related or close with that hoarder, if they've gone through therapy. Because yes, the hoarder clearly needs help, but so do the people who grew up with them, like kids going through this, like myself. Like I, like it messes you up. Like I know from a firsthand experience, like you will you'll end up with severe trauma and PTSD from this.
How do you walk past this and not see it?
I think I detach myself from a lot of things.
And like I've brought up before, the camera crew and 1-800-DRUNK people were amazing. We got pictures of the camera and sound crew. They were very understanding, which I feel like you have to if you're kind of on this show with the things you're going to see. This was already like a really stressful situation, so the fact is that they came in, they were very understanding. Corey was very nice, and I arrived slightly late because I was sick that morning, but my mom was not wanting to get up. She was not happy with this whole process. She's also not a morning person, so that also is very bad.
Cam was asleep.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
She's obviously either been up all night, stressed out about this.
Oh, she was.
She's just shut off completely, and she's going to try to avoid it. Well, I'm extremely agitated already. We haven't even done anything, touched anything, said anything. So this probably isn't going to go real well.
Watch your step, guys.
No. It was not unexpected. they had wanted someone there other than my brother and I, and my mom. They wanted another person, preferably my dad, because that's her ex-husband, and had to fight like hell to get him on the show, even though I'm like, you're not doing this for her, you're doing this for your children, my brother and I. And he was very resistant to do this, partly because of issues at home with his then wife. And it was it blows my mind like how people react to stuff like this. And it's just like, you're not there, you're there to support us because we need this support, and I especially need this support because he doesn't know exactly what we went through. He doesn't know, he never really saw the extent of a lot of this stuff. But he was planned, so it wasn't. And then we had to redo the scene like 3 times to go in. Like they had to keep going. I was like, oh, we didn't hear you, or we didn't get it a good enough camera shot. So normal stuff. You'll see that, my dad comes in and is given a tour essentially, and he's like, oh, this isn't the person I knew. That was annoying to refilm.
Taken away and blown away, I mean.
You haven't seen the fridge.
I think you need to look inside the refrigerator.
That's something I wanted, okay? Because like I had to live with that fucking fridge. I had to live with its predecessor at our other place, which was 10 times worse than this fridge. And I'm like, someone else has to witness this horror. I cannot be the only one to be scarred by this fucking thing. No, she did like to overstay her welcome at a lot of the places she'd come over, because she didn't want to return home because of the hoard. The problem is if you invited her over and for any length of time she would start, because it happened in hotels, extended stays, at any time. If I asked her to stay over for a day or two to help with a couple things, if I was going to be out of town for work, if I was in the hospital, because that's happened several times where I've been in the hospital for anywhere from a couple days to a week at a time, she would hoard there. She would want to stay in my hospital room and hoard. If my voice is breaking, it's because I'm trying not to cry.
Oh, what?
There's like battery acid in there too.
This is why I threw up the last time I was in here.
You okay?
That fucking smug ass look I have. He was there for moral support after I fought like hell to get him in over there. After I practically begged.
We're only
Are they going
here
to show
for
the
a few
melon?
days, and you guys are going to be the ones to help her keep.
I'm wondering, will they show the melon? There was a bag I picked up, and it was just like, those produce bags that you put like peppers and stuff in. Well, it was one of those, but there was like, it was so old, and it was just like liquid. It was whatever a melon, like a muskmelon was, but it was just completely liquefied, and it was just it was just like it up. I don't know if they show that. There's a lot they don't show, which is like, you spend 5 days filming, you get 22 minutes out of the whole, like 22 minutes is what they get, right? 20, that's it. This actually did happen.
Like something plastic is melting. Last thing I want in here is a fire.
Yeah.
It was something starting to catch.
Oh, now I can really smell it.
Yeah.
Wasn't me puking, that was just me burping. Don't worry.
Yeah. See? It was just this plastic melting right here.
Don't worry. I got it. It was just a plastic bag melting. Can you redo that? I didn't get it.
Here, Mom, you've not thrown a single thing away in a very long time. You do not need receipts, Mom.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get.
Actually, I can keep this. That's why I rinsed it out, because I took it to
Mom,
work.
why are you keeping a plastic container?
Because it's clean.
Nothing about this place is clean right now.
I know, but I got it not too long ago.
You're gonna also see me frustrate my mom a lot because I am a neat freak.
Order.
What was that? It's nothing.
There
It's
it is!
poop.
It's it's the melon.
Did you see it?
Yep.
I don't need any more cat toys.
I know.
She's trying to use me as an excuse to not throw some of the stuff away. Mind you, I don't live there at this point.
Do you want one? Joey, do you want these?
Oh my gosh.
They're hers, they're not mine.
The whole process was kind of crazy too. Like the fact that it's 22 minutes, but they spent like 5 days filming.
We need to get started today.
Yeah, I know.
So here's our second day here.
I look so sick. I don't have a sense of smell anymore after living in conditions. I haven't had a sense of smell since I was around 14, 15 years old. I think you could probably imagine why. And I'm glad he did like come back for some cleanup. And she did. I think she was glad it was over. As nasty as that fridge is, the previous places I've mentioned before have been hoarded worse. I will actually show footage of it being thrown away, my own personal footage.
Back a little more. Shit. Pull it back a little more, please. Good, watch out. Watch out, watch out.
What's the underneath part look like? Oh, wow. Okay. That's good. I need a few seconds of that. Said, are you happy?
Yes. He said not to do that again.
It's kind of creepy. I'm gonna watch them throw it in the truck. There was a point though where like I did throw up, and then like the cameraman like chased me down and were like watching me, and they're like watching me throw up in the snow, right? Fuck. And I was just like, please don't show this. And they didn't, and I'm glad they didn't. I don't know if they would have anyway, but there were just a lot of things I asked them not to show, and they didn't. They didn't show any of the stuff I asked them to not show, which was very respectful. Fun fact about the maids who came in and were cleaning. My mom used to work for them. And it was just like, oh. They did a good job, though. They also did replace my mom's mattress and gave her an actual bed.
Oh, nice.
She was so happy there was a bed.
The kitchen looked clean enough to eat off the floor.
Clean.
But still wouldn't want to do it.
I love my brother, but that comment.
I can't believe I could actually come over and thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Can't believe I cried on TV. That bathroom is a horrible, horrible thing.
Than I really imagined.
She doesn't have to worry about me getting sick, or, you know, like she would say, I'm worried about you dying in this place.
It's like my mom gets to live in a clean house now.
I'm gonna fucking cry, Jesus. No, tear, go back in my eye. You can't cry. I'm gonna like be like sucking that tear back in. Yeah, they did call like a few months afterwards to get a progress report. I will say the house did not stay clean forever. After a couple months, she did go back to her hoarding. She is a hoarder. Her car, that is a different car that she has now, but that's hoarded quite extensively. And her other places she has lived in, I don't think her current home is as bad because she is living with someone. So she's only allowed to hoard to a certain extent. However, I've not been inside, and I don't really care to be inside because I don't want to. I have tried. This was the most I could do for my mom after supporting her since I was like 12 with like financially, and Hoarders was the last thing I could do for her, and I'm like, I can't do any more after this because it's impacting me too much physically and mentally. I still talk with my mom. We still go out. But ultimately, I don't go to her place. I can't be around nasty things like that. I have too fragile of a constitution to deal with that now. And yeah, this was hard to watch. I don't know, maybe I'll follow up with more comments later on, because like there were a lot of things like in our previous place, like we shared a twin mattress, like it was really bad. So the fact is like challenges. I'm very OCD, but on the opposite side, like hoarders, like my mom would be considered having OCD, but she is a hoarder. I'm a neat freak. I've gotten a little bit better over the years. Like I'm not like scrubbing the walls like as much. I still do, but it's not as much. It's not as bad. Cleaning is very cathartic for me. So when I get stressed out, I go on cleaning sprees, which people are like, can you come over to my house if you're stressed out? And you know what? I have literally called my friends, but like, hey, I'm coming over and cleaning your house. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, I'm really stressed out. But yeah, thank you for joining me on this bit of an emotional adventure. Is this an adventure? I don't know. This was weird. This is gonna be fun to edit. Always want to say I'm gonna advocate for therapy. Therapy helps a lot. We heard some stories about some other hoarders, but that's a whole nother. We talked to the camera crew a lot, and some of the people who were on who are involved with the show, and some of the stories we heard were horrific and never made it to television. Feel free to comment below if you have ever been on Hoarders, or if you had a loved one on Hoarders, or if you were ever impacted by someone who hoarded, because, you know, there's far more hoarders out there than the ones that have actually been televised. And I'm just curious how many more out there, especially children of hoarders like me. Like, how are you doing? Did you get therapy? Like, how has this impacted your life? Because it had to. I can't imagine. It impacted my brother and I, like, our lives so much. So I'm just curious. But until then, guys, bye.